Mike Smith getting all from West Coast as he clings to the lead from Gunnabara. IREP is third at the inside. Cameron is fourth and is West Coast, and he keeps on rolling. And West Coast goes wire to wire. It's the Travers.
Live from the backstretch at historic Saratoga Racecourse, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. Thoroughfan, giving the fan a voice. Find them at thoroughfan.com. And Woodbine Racetrack. Pick, bet, and cheer on world-class horse racing north of the border.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on this, what is this, Wednesday morning. I'm losing track of time, but it's that time of year as we are hitting kind of the home stretch here on the Saratoga meet. The Travers draw last night, so we're into Travers week, and things are looking good as far as a nice Travers with a nice competitive field in there. Weather here at the track, though, we're getting more of 2018 weather as it is. Sprinkling out right now, and there has been some sprinkles throughout the last few hours. So we'll see. The forecast, though, I saw before I left the house was sun for this afternoon. So hopefully that plays into the day here on Wednesday. But coming up a little bit later on, Joe and Sean Clancy. Actually, Sean will be here for our Saratoga special spot looking at the New York Turf Riders tomorrow, the highlight of the steeplechase season. So we'll talk a little bit with Sean about that. And then, bottom of the hour, yes, it's a duo. Dale Romans and Eric Guillot. We were at the Guillot Jambalaya cookout a couple of days back, and Dale was there, and we thought, let's get these two on together. Dale, of course, with an entrant in the Travers, so we'll talk about that and much, much more. It should be a raucous segment with Guillot and Romans. And towards the end of the program, Stu DeVoe from Diamond Club and the Embassy Suites, they've got a little Travers event. They're one of our sponsors, so we wanted to give them an opportunity to push the event they have coming up in anticipation of the Travers. But speaking of events and anticipation, as always on a Wednesday, happy to be joined by our friend Teresa Gennaro, who will talk a little bit about the calendar of events coming up over the next week or so. Teresa, good morning.
Good morning.
Ready for the Travers? Can you believe it's here already?
I can't believe it's here already.
And you as a teacher go back to school next week.
A week from this moment, I will be sitting in school meetings.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I have a sister who lives in Arkansas, and I'm always amazed. Now it was her kids, but now it's her grandkids. Boy, they go back to school way too early down in the South. They've been in school for a couple of weeks.
Even Kentucky's like the second, third week in August. Yeah, I mean, they get out a lot earlier than we do, too.
It all evens out, I guess.
But still, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, school doesn't start until September.
I know.
Like,
it must be brutal if you move from the north to the
Yeah,
south.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, oh, I got to go to school in the middle of August? Wait, it's still summer vacation.
Yeah.
But it's still
here we
summer
are.
vacation for us as we have a couple more weeks of racing left, and the Travers will highlight things. But as I say, Travers Week kicks off, and we'll hit on some of the events that are coming up, one of them annually here at the racetrack. We will note, however, I believe the location of the ice cream eating contest is a little bit different this year.
Yes.
But the ice cream eating contest is today. So if you like ice cream and you like eating ice cream and a lot of it, the racetrack will be your place to be today.
And not just ice cream, but Stewart's ice cream, which, as much as I love the ice cream, other ice cream available in Saratoga, Stewart's ice cream is the best bargain in town. It's delicious. It's not very expensive. The portions are plentiful. Got 3 categories today: kids 6 to 12, teenagers 13 to 17, and adults 18 plus. And prizes go to whoever can eat a pint of ice cream the fastest, which I got, not a big fan of the eating contest, but good luck to all who are in it. And I hope you get to eat peanut butter pandemonium, which is my favorite.
I also was gassing up yesterday at the local Stewart's, and they have the civility cone, which there's some day coming up where it's gonna be half price, and it was like vanilla ice cream with a swirl of salted caramel, and it's their civility. And So there's going to be a day coming up where you can get a half-price cone of this ability. The picture looked pretty.
I'm in. Salted caramel, I am in.
So that comes up today, and again, registration is going to be at the Saratoga Pavilion, the tent out in back of the grandstand. That kicks off at 11. Contest will kick off at a little after 2 o'clock, up near the stretch this year.
It's on the second floor of the grandstand, all the way down the end, facing the backyard.
So keep that in mind. A little bit of a change with the venue. And you know, you talk about a contest. Fastest is better than most, though.
Yes.
Fastest,
like the hot dog thing.
Yeah, I could stomach that.
Yeah.
The 40 hot dog, where the day before they're loading up to kind of.
Yeah.
I don't get any of that. But the pint ice cream, the fastest I could buy into.
I hope. Well.
Coming up also today is I know near and dear to your heart because you have been on the board in the past, Belmont Child Care Association. It should be near and dear to everybody because it's a great organization that caters to the backstretch folks, really the backbone of the industry.
It's really the first and only organization of its kind in the country. Open 365 days a year on the Belmont backstretch. It opens at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it provides low-cost early childhood education and child care for the children of backstretch workers. People pay on an as-they-can basis, so it's a sliding scale. And anybody out there who has ever tried to look for child care knows it's hard to find, much less one that opens every day and opens at 5 o'clock in the morning. So tonight is their major fundraiser for the year. It's a fun, casual event, first time this year at Saratoga National, and looking forward to going. It's a great cause and a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've had Michael Dubb in here talking about it a number of times, and Michael Imperio came in a couple of days ago. We talked to him and his wife, prominent member now of the board, president.
She's the president, yeah.
And so we talked a little bit about the event with him, and as an owner, how important this organization is to him. But Michael Dubb also, I saw a couple of weeks ago, they're looking for a similar venue up here at Saratoga, which will be a great addition to the backstretch here.
Yeah, there should be one at every racetrack.
All right, also want to mention a cookbook signing that's coming up tomorrow. Julie Tabouli, if you watch PBS, Julie Tabouli, Lebanese Kitchen. I have to admit, I'm not.
Don't.
And God knows why, but I watch cooking shows all the time. But I'm not a big watcher of Julie Tabouli. Maybe I have to jump on board and get more into the Julie Tabouli. Maybe it's just I'm not into Lebanese. Well, who knows?
It's really
if
good.
I watched, maybe I'd be more into it. They're America's Test Kitchen. I watched that, and I say God only knows why, because I don't cook really.
Right.
But for some reason I'm fixated on it. But if you are a viewer of the Julie Tabouli show, she will be signing her book tomorrow here at the track.
Yep, and books will be for sale courtesy of North Yard Books. I thought you were going to say that you thought her real name was Julie Tabouli.
Oh, well, which it turns
not.
out it isn't. I
Yes,
didn't think her name
Julie
really
Ann
is.
Sagir. Lebanese food is great, and a lot of it's not hard to make at all, so maybe you should stop by, pick up a cookbook.
Pick up a cookbook, and also I got to tune in. I'm going to have to try the show because it's a PBS show, and so is America's Test Kitchen. It's on that PBS digital channel. Like I say, I watch that, and there are a couple other cooking shows I watch. And as I say, it's just, I guess, relaxing to watch other people cook.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know what it is because I don't cook, but although I do sit there and think, oh, I should make that.
You should
that
make
looks
that.
good. They did the America's Test Kitchen last year. One time did a great looking lobster roll, and I keep saying, "Oh, I should do it," but I haven't done it yet. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Thursday, also, our friend Andy Serling with At the Post, the radio show down at the Parting Glass. I always like to tout that. I'm down pretty much every week. If I can make it, I'm down there. Have my hot turkey sandwich in and amongst the audience, and watch some nice racing personalities with Andy Serling, 8 o'clock every Thursday down at the Parting Glass.
Yeah, owner Bob Edwards will be one of his guests tonight, along with Irad Ortiz Jr., who's having an unbelievable meet, and trainer Mark Cassey, who will saddle a filly in the Travers, Wonder Gadot, I am told. Wonder Gadot.
It's like the Gadot, I think. Or it's
Gadot, okay.
Robert Geller up at Woodbine came out in the press box after the Queen's Plate, or before the Queen's Plate, and was kind of going over it. He had done some research or whatever. And I keep saying Godot.
Me too.
I've heard it a million times. And
Yeah.
I keep saying Godot. I just had that beat into my head. I got to get, but I think Godot probably works.
Yeah.
Friday, should mention, because we've talked a lot about it, we've had some of the NYTHA people in here, and we had Jeff Canizzo in here as well, talking about the New York Reds and what a great meet they have had with the Whitney and the sales. and then Voodoo Song.
And the Adirondack, too. Philly in the Adirondack was a New York bred.
Jeremiah's horse. But we should mention that Friday is New York Showcase Day, really.
Yep.
New York breds all day long.
Yeah, and it's a relatively recent addition to the New York calendar. These races used to be spread out throughout the meet, and now they're all in one day. 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, older horses, turf, dirt, short, long. Huge, huge day for the New York bred program, and you see some really nice horses come out of this. Upstart ran in the funny side here a number of years ago. Some of the Broman's horses have come out of this and gone on to win graded stakes. So, and Todd's horse La Forza, Todd Pletcher, owned by Barry Schwartz, won a really nice race here early in the meet, and he's going to go there. So a lot to look forward to. A fun day full of stakes races.
I wish they still had the Big Apple Triple.
Me too.
That was kind of fun.
Me too.
The Albany is still on the schedule, and the other two races, the Mike Lee down at Belmont and the New York Derby up at the Finger Lakes, but that added a little juice to that. But still, the Albany $250,000 will be fun for the 3-year-olds up here. Also wanted to mention in the community outreach booth on Friday, you can bring a non-perishable item, dry goods and canned goods that will benefit folks in need in the area.
Yeah, for the Saratoga Economic Opportunity Council, who does a number of really wonderful things in this community all year round. One of the things that they do at Christmas time is that you can local people can adopt a family, and you get Santa's list for kids and parents, and you can really furnish an entire family with Christmas gifts that they might not otherwise have had. But this week it's about food, and there are a lot of food insecure people out there. So all kinds of perishable items, pasta, canned beans, canned meats, peanut butter, things like that. And I know somebody who has worked in the industry of helping people who are food insecure, and they also say that it's nice to get the necessities, and it's also nice when you can't afford it to get a treat. And so they've encouraged me to do things like throw in some chocolate bars or other, maybe some, I don't know, puddings or something if you can get them that are non-perishable. And okay, so maybe they're not the most nutritious thing, but nice to get a little treat in there as well.
Yeah, those little pudding cups are certainly, and I also see listed there things like shampoo and shaving cream and those type of items as well. And I will add in, if you bring 3 items or more, you get a free Saratoga baseball cap while supplies last. So that's a nice little bonus for you as well. And that's at the community outreach booth, which is over by the Jockey Silks room. And that happens, again, that's on Friday.
Yeah.
Friday also, you and I were talking before, and it's worth noting because we've touted this for the past few weeks, the last race showcase at the Stretch, which is that new area up at the top of the Stretch in the grandstand. If you haven't had a chance to see it, the end of the day on Fridays and Saturdays, typically you've been able to go up there. This week, of course, with the Travers, things change up a little bit. It's only going to be Friday.
So
this
just
week.
Friday night, 6:30 to 7:30. There's no entrance admission. Probably have a chance to bet a race or two. Sample some food and drink.
Also, Friday is the Red Jacket ceremony, Walk of Fame, and the Red Jacket inductee this year will be Bob Baffert. That should be a lot of fun. It all happens in the winner's circle after the 5th race, approximately 3:30 on Friday.
He'll be joining such Saratoga luminaries as Alan Jerkins and Bill Mott and Angel Cordero and a number of others as well. And I presume they'll be talking a lot about his wins in the last 2 Travers. Would have been 3 if American Pharoah had gotten there, but Arrogate and West Coast, no, not bad. So.
And so he gets his Red Jacket on Friday. Friday's also Travers Eve member wine and cheese social with Greg Montgomery over at the National Museum of Racing. So if you're a member over there, and if you're not a member and you'd like to go to the wine and cheese, go over and sign up. Become a member over the next couple of days.
Well, and it's free. It's free for museum members. It's $10 for non-members. But yeah, rather than pay the $10, just become a member. So nice way to kind of get together and celebrate the art of Greg Montgomery and Travers Weekend in general and the museum.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar, Greg Montgomery is the artist who does that annual Travers poster, which, boy, they're really nice. This year's is nice, too, and he'll be there to sign some posters as well. So that comes up on Friday.
And you can see the new beautiful statue of Julie Crone that was unveiled last weekend. If you have not seen the amazing pictures that Barbara Livingston posted of Statue Julie and Real Julie posing in front of it. She posted them, I believe, on Twitter, and they are magnificent.
I should ask you, because we talked about it last week, the Women's Symposium on Racing. I'm assuming you were there, and that's why you saw the. I know you were there because you wrote about it.
Yeah.
So give us a little update. How was that?
It was pretty good. You know, it was obviously a cast of luminaries: Charlotte Weber, Blythe Miller-Davies, Janet Elliott, Julie, Linda Rice. Talked about their experiences, what got them into racing, some of the challenges that they faced. So it's good. Yeah, nice to see them all together.
Over at the museum on the weekend, and that was the night before they unveiled the Julie statue.
Yep.
And I saw she was there with her husband and daughter and whatnot. So that was nice. Mentioning moving into Saturday, do want to tout. Obviously, it's Trevor's Day with just a lineup of stakes action that just knock your socks off. The Forego, the Alan Jerkins, the Ballerina, Personalized and Sword Dancer, Ballston Spa, and of course the Travers. If you want some ideas, you tune in here at the Handicappers Report Saturday morning, and that starts early. Don't forget, our programming is early coming up this Saturday. But you can also stop over if you're at the track, obviously. Swing by and check out their handicapping seminar at 11 o'clock. Up by the stretch area, there's a little area off to the side of the stretch, and that's where that happens. So the handicapping seminar on Saturday, Mike Watchmaker, Nick Tamaro, and Richard Aller will be giving out their thoughts.
Yep.
So again, that's, if you're at the track, 11 o'clock, swing on over. Coming up on Sunday, always want to mention the Low Roller Challenge, Sunday and Monday. 3 more coming up because there isn't one closing day, Labor Day. But typically it's been Sundays and Mondays, so there's 3 more left now. This Sunday, Monday, and next Sunday. $40 gets you in, 10 into the prize pool. You play with 30. Nice little article in the Saratogian this week that quoted me, and I think that helped pull in some more people because the other day there was over 250 people, which I think is kind of a record, which made for a nice prize pool. And I have been whiffing. I've been playing and whiffing, so I'll be in all 3. I'm continuing to take my shot, and hopefully you will join us. The Low Roller Challenge, Sunday and Monday. The sign-up booth is on the lower level of the carousel. Also, we've talked about the Saratoga Preservation Foundation's historical walks, and the one coming up 5th and Madison Avenues. My sister used to live on 5th Avenue.
Yeah, I mean, just the homes along there are amazing and so architecturally significant. So you can learn about when they were built and the style and all of that. So, and see some beautiful homes, and hopefully take a nice stroll in some lovely weather on Sunday.
Oh, I talked to somebody, we had touted the Green Tree tour through the museum. I talked to somebody the other day who did that, and they had like an overflow crowd. It was only supposed to be a certain number, and they had more, and he said it was nice. I kind of I wanted to do that, but I didn't get it. I have actually had the pleasure of being over there. Years ago, Bill Mott used to be stabled over there, and I did a TV interview with him before I was with OTB. This was many, many years ago, but it's
gorgeous.
You just drive by, you look at that view they have, and it's incredible. Want to toss out also coming up on Monday, this is another nice thing with school coming up. First 500 kids that head over to the Saratoga Pavilion on Monday. Free backpack filled with some school supplies.
Yep. This is part of the Berkshire Bank Family Mondays that have been taking place every Monday back there. And this week, as you said, 500 backpacks to kids 12 and under filled with school supplies. 1 bag per child, and the child must be there.
And again, that comes up Monday out at the tent, Saratoga Pavilion, behind the grandstand. And because you're heading back to school next week, we'll probably have you in early, so we'll have a chance to double up on this. But you can't talk about Rerun too much. Rerun, Picnic Under the Stars to benefit Thoroughbred Aftercare is coming up, celebrating Edgar Prano.
Yeah, and Rerun's got a farm not too far away from here. A lot of horses whose names would be familiar to you. Matoris, just recently, Predoreo, have all been retired there. Lisa Malloy and her crew do a great job of retraining them, putting them up for adoption, and this will celebrate Edgar Prado, who earlier this year got his 7,000th win. And this will be at Saratoga National. There's live music, a silent auction, and I gotta say, I wish I could be here for this. Chef-inspired s'mores are on the Saratoga National Fire Pit. So there's a link.
Chef-inspired.
There's a link to buy tickets, and I'm not sure how much they are at BrooklynBackstretch.com and Rerun's Facebook page.
I'm going to go over and ask Julie Chibuli about that.
Exactly.
See if there are Lebanese s'mores even. Who knows? And speaking of auction items, we did not mention it. We talked with Michael Imperio the other day about it, but we should reiterate that Belmont Child Care Association dinner boy, they have some knockout auction items if you're
Yeah,
thinking,
silent and live.
Justify halter, and some really nice stuff.
Yep.
If you head over there.
Get your
this
checkbook.
evening. Yeah, and go to for more information on that dinner tonight for the Belmont Child Care Association. Just type in Google Belmont Child Care Association, go to the website and find out all the info, or go to Brooklyn Backstretch and get the calendar.
BrooklynBackstretch.com.
All right. Teresa, as always, appreciate the visit, and we'll check in next week. As I say, potentially a little bit early next week as you head back to school.
Yep.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Sean Clancy, actually, joining us to talk a little bit about the steeplechase coming up this week, including the New York Turf Riders. A little bit later on, Dale Romans and Eric Guillot. Stay tuned. Racing Across America continues.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
You know, and make better decisions, better choices, to know how to connect the dots. In horse racing, knowledge is a powerful tool, but not the only tool. Race results and replays, past performances and live streaming, wagering from all your digital devices. These too are important tools, and you'll find them all right here at Capital OTB. Capital OTB. Become a better horse player.
The backstretch workers are the heart and soul of what we do.
They're the backbone of the industry.
People on the racetrack are very giving people.
It's a very oppressive community of people helping one another. We see it all the time.
Any help we need it. It's right there in their hands.
It makes so much easier in the family to have somebody like Nathan to help them.
Looking for a fantastic meal? Stop by Malcolm's, a unique farm-to-table restaurant experience. Located at 617 Union Street in Schenectady, Malcolm's offers locally grown fresh foods, mouth-watering flavors, an enhanced drink menu, and terrific service. Malcolm's is a sure bet during Saratoga season. Make your reservation today.
Chain, living it up, living it up, living it up. Pin sagging gold grills, living, trilling the cut, trilling the cut.
Now it's a global series. The best racers from all over the world, the best trainers, the best jockeys.
You can get a free entry into the Breeders' Cup, and everybody wants to run in a Breeders' Cup race.
You get your travel expenses paid for the Breeders' Cup. Automatic berth takes a lot of pressure off.
If we're considering two different races and one was a win and you're in and one was not, that would be the tiebreaker.
It's probably the best thing that's happened to racing in the last 10 years.
Breeders' Cup Challenge, win, and you're in.
Welcome back to Racing Across America on a Wednesday morning, kicking off Travers Week, and we also have a couple of nice jump races coming up this week, including the highlight on the jump calendar here at Saratoga, the New York Turf Riders. We'll talk that and much more with our next guest, Sean Clancy from the Saratoga Special. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be here.
And I'm imagining this is a busy week for the Special.
Yeah, this week gets pretty hectic with the Travers looming and all the stakes Saturday. A couple good jump races. Yeah, we had a few days off. Now we got to rev it back up.
And I have to ask if the percentage of the workload goes up for the remaining employees, because this seems like the time of year where some of the college interns have to make the move.
Yeah, exactly. We've lost one so far. 2 leave on Sunday, and a few other. We're gonna be writing it, selling it, handing it out like the old days back when it was just Joe and I'd handling everything. But
I had Gabby on the other day, and she was talking about the MSG Fox show, and said, it's fun, and we do a lot of background stuff and try to get the stories that maybe aren't normally covered. And I said, "Oh, you got that?" And she said, "Yes, from the Saratoga Special days."
Exactly right. Exactly right. We always say we root for chaos. The more chaos, the better for a good copy.
And it looks like you may have another alumni that will be prominent in the industry. I saw Anise upstairs in town for a few days during the sales, and she's going to be part of the Flying Start program.
Yeah, Anise Montplaisir, which is we call her Fargo. She's from North Dakota, and she's part of the Darley Flying Start program, which is great. I'm very proud of her, and she'll go on to do big things.
We've gone over it before. It's amazing the number of people that have gone through the Saratoga Special and gone on to bigger and better things in the racing game. Gabby and Travis Stone, clearly two of the names that I remember when Travis was working for you and he was doing an internet radio show out of a closet in your office.
Exactly.
I'd be on with him every week. The announcer down at Churchill.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little racing. Last night, the Travers draw, you and I were talking before we went on the air. Justify retires, so we don't get that Triple Crown winner, but everybody kind of anticipated, and that's the way it worked out. It's wound up to be a really good, intriguing field with lots of storylines.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's horse racing for you. The bad news is you don't get Justified, but the good news is you get a deep field like this with all kinds of different stories, everything from Catholic Boy going back to the dirt, to Mendelson trying again, to Gronkowski first starts into Belmont, Good Magic. It's a deep, fun, great field. I always try to figure out who I'm going to watch the race with. I'm like looking at it. I have no idea who to watch it with, and that's how deep it is. So that's what it's supposed to be. Travers supposed to be that kind of race, and I think it's a fascinating race.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think that this 3-year-old crop past Justify is still trying to define itself. Good Magic is going to take a lot of action out the Haskell, win tenfold. Be interesting to see what folks think of him when the betting is settled. But with Catholic Boy, the filly in there, it's going to be a fun addition coming up, and really a nice lineup of stakes races underneath on Saturday.
No, it's a stellar card Saturday, and I think the Travers is, like I said, it's just when you get that kind of group of, there's 8 or 9, 10 horses could win the race, you wouldn't be shocked. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great afternoon, and the weather looks great for Saturday as well, and you can keep up with all of it. Previews and reviews in the Saratoga Special. All right, always like to talk a little jump racing with you when you come in, and we have a couple of jumps coming up. First race today, and of course the New York Turf Riders, the first race tomorrow. Let's take a look today at the Michael Walsh Novice before we get into handicapping. Just once again, explain what a novice race is.
So it's basically for horses. It's almost like a date race. It's for horses that hadn't broken their maiden before March 1st, 2017, or numbers of 3. So you'll see a few others that maybe broken their maiden before that. But it was a division that was created for steeplechasing. They do it a lot in England. Just kind of gives that second year type horses a place to be rather than stepping into graded company right off the bat.
All right, I think this is a fun race. Mutasawe is the direction I went, and I went back and forth and back and forth. I had a nice race up here last year, a second in the Kaiser earlier in the meet over a yielding course. But I pulled up a replay going back to the August 1st jump race here. Number 2, Boss Man, is going to be the winner. Led all the way around. 2 miles and a 16th, goes 2 3/8 this afternoon. That was the question mark for me. But I thought this horse could get out there and kind of lope along the way he did a couple of weeks ago in that allowance event. Boss Man might be interesting. As I said, I went with Mutasawe. I thought Swell Elegant was interesting too, off a couple of wins most recently. No wonder for Elizabeth Voss. Seems to be a player for me, but what were your thoughts on the Walsh?
It's a competitive race. Indian Hawk comes out. There's one scratch to 7. After that, it's a very competitive group. Mutasawi should improve a little bit, going 2 3/8. He was running late the other day here, going 2 1/16. Boss Man's tough. He's done very little wrong over jumps. Old Bill Mott horse. Probably remember him, and Jason Service probably remember him running on the grass up here. I think it's a little bit, it's a little bit of a stretch from 2 1/16 to 2 3/8. He loses Mikey Mitchell, rode him the last time. Sean McDermott deputizes, but I would go lean a little bit to Mutasawi. I think Salix import is a nice horse, especially with a little bit of rain will help him. A little bit of a cut in the ground will help him for sure. I think Mutasawi is probably the horse to beat, especially stretching out, going 2 3/8. Nice horse by Tappet, which is obviously everybody knows Tappet, so they can win over jumps too.
All right, let's go to Thursday. It is, as I say, the highlight of the jump calendar up here at Saratoga, the Grade 1 New York Turf Riders, another 2 3/8 mile jump race. Boy, this is a fun race. We talked a little bit in early preview on Sunday about this. Showcourt comes out of the win in the AP Smithwick, but again, that was 2 1/16. This is 2 3/8, and it just seems year after year that doesn't really play out to be a strong prep race necessarily for this. I went with Iranistan. We're going to show the Smithwick. Showcourt's the number 7. He wins, but Iranistan runs second. You were talking a little bit about the workout right before the race for Iranistan when you were in here on Sunday. I put all the way Jose underneath. I'm not sure that the 8-year-old can rebound to top form, but I think if we can get a performance, we had 3rd in this race last year for Jonathan Shepard. And then you mentioned when you were on the other day, Gordon Elliott comes in from England with the Game Changer. I put that one in the 3rd spot. Just seems interesting to me coming over from a country where steeplechase racing is a lot more prominent than it is over here. So I'm intrigued to see what that one does. What are your thoughts on the Turf Riders?
It's same thing. It's an interesting race. Personal start, first of all, he scratches the 8, or is meant to scratch. So it's an 8-horse field. Gordon Elliott's interesting trainer to bring these 2 horses over. We have an owner here, George Mahoney, runs under Ross Bryant Farm. You'll see he owns 3 in here. He's given a good push, trying to be leading steeplechase owner, so he's been buying horses. Bought these 2 horses, the Game Changer and Clarkham, off of Gigginstown, who's one of the biggest owners in racing in Ireland and England, really. They're based in Ireland, but they race both places. So he's bought both horses, still trained by Gordon Elliott. They'll stay here after this. They're a little bit, if you had to pick them apart, maybe the distance here, 2 3/8, a little bit short form, tight track. Clarkham's probably the classier one of the group, but he's coming out of a race going 2 3/4. The Galway Plate's in a very, very prestigious race over there. But this will be a little different, going 2 3/8 on a sharp track. I like Iranistan. I thought maybe his work before the Smithwick was a little too quick and a little close to the race. That was his first time against open horses. Showcourt got a run up the inside, kind of beat him. I think if Showcourt didn't get up the inside, it would have been different. I'm going to give Iranistan another chance. He's been impressive all year. I like the horse. I just think maybe he'll, he's had that kind of a real battle-tested race. If he steps forward off of that, he'll be very tough. Optimus Prime's a nice horse, same thing, coming over from England. The other 2 came from Ireland. This horse came from England. He's got good form over there, running behind a horse named Footpad at Punchestown, which is really, really strong form. I'd give him a little bit of a chance too. But I'll give Iranistan another chance. And as a bomb, I'd say New Member might improve a little bit for his novice win, just if you want to get a price.
I'll ask you, get your opinion on the steeplechase side. Weight used to be something for me on the flat side. I don't look at it as much unless there's a crazy spread, but it seems to be in races like this on the jump side, I think you have to pay attention, and there is a spread. I mean, you talk about the Gordon Elliott horse on the outside, 158, and Iranistan gets in with 140, a feathery 145.
Yeah, exactly. I think it really matters. I mean, you'll see in the horses lightweights and the Turf Riders run well year after year. It's kind of these light horses that get in and kind of slide under the handicap a little bit. So I think weight definitely matters. Clarkham carries a lot of weight, 158. Iranistan's a 4-year-old, so he gets a bit of a break there because he's 145. So I think it's a big factor. That's why I'd go lean a little bit toward maybe a New Member or Iranistan or getting weight.
What did you ride at when you were riding?
It depends if that's me or the clerk of scales or the trainer. No, I tried to do it. By the end, I was trying to do 142, 144, but it was tricky. When I won the Turf Riders, that was one of the big contentions I had with Janet Elliott. The horse cat was in with 138, and I told her I'd do 140. And I did, actually, pretty close to legitimate 140. And she ran to the scale, wanted to see what I weighed after the race. So I skipped across the scale, and nobody will ever know. And it was, I mean, back then it was pretty hard. I mean, when you're getting down in the 40s for a jump jockey, for most of them it's pretty hard. I mean, they're getting tested pretty good. Some of the guys are light, Mikey Mitchell and those guys are light, but if you take like Sean McDermott or Darren Nagel, those type of guys, they're Willie McCarthy, they're going to struggle a little bit to get down into the low 40s.
All right, Sean, appreciate the visit. The thoughts on the 2 jump races coming up this week. That kind of wraps up the jump season up here. It's been kind of, I love the jump racing, and people get kind of, oh, what do we do? You just handicap it like a regular race. Look for the best horse and look for the speed, or whatever you do on the flat side, you do on the jump side as well. I think it's been a nice season, and an exclamation point with the Turf Riders tomorrow. Obviously, coverage of those races in the Saratoga Special, but all the racing action up here. Been a great season for the Special as well, and I also tout your man Sharpazian on the handicapping side. Still, we're chasing him.
Yeah, he's bombing.
I'm only about, last I looked, I was maybe 10 or 11 behind, which is like 2 a week, something like that after 5 weeks, so I feel like I'm doing okay. But if I have a couple of knockout days, maybe I'll close the gap a little bit, but I think he'd be tough to run down.
He's tough.
See him over at the harness track the rest of the year, so if you want some advice, go over to the harness track, the simulcast during the afternoon the rest of the year, but he bounces around here as well, so he's very friendly, and you can always ask him some opinions as well. Sean, appreciate the visit.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Saratoga Special, pick it up on track or go to thisishorseracing.com online, and you can check out the archives as well. I also have it linked over on Equidaily during the meet to the archives. All right, we'll take a break. Big segment coming up. Dale Romans, Eric Guillot. We'll talk some racing. Dale with an entrant in the Travers and much, much more. All of that right after this. Stay tuned.
For 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 96-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients and served in a home-like setting where everyone is welcome. Some things have changed in the last 96 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sign up today for Capital OTB's handicapping series and plan your trip to Las Vegas.
Visit Rivers Casino and Resort, the Capital Region's only destination for live table game action and the hottest new slots paying out millions. And they're off. Horse betting is now at Rivers Casino and Resort with Capital off-track betting terminals and live tellers located just off the gaming floor at Van Slyck's. Get in on all the action at Rivers Casino and Resort.
Funding your Capital OTB bet account is as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Easy Money. Clearly the fastest and easiest method of depositing funds into your account. Make deposits or withdrawals in just minutes. 2. Green Dot Money Pack. Gives you instant access to your funds. Green Dot Money Packs are available at thousands of retailers nationwide. And 3. MasterCard Visa. Simply click on the link from the funding page, enter your account information, and fund your account. CapitalOTBBet.com. Log on today.
Welcome back to Racing Across America on a Wednesday morning as we kick off Travers Week. Dale Romans with an entrant in the Travers. We'll talk about that a little bit, but looking forward to this segment for the past couple of days. We came up with the idea over at the Jambalaya Cookout put on by the Guillot boys. Eric Guillot, Dale Romans, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Happy to have you swing by. And as I say, we came up with this idea as Dale came over and had some jambalaya, and you and your brother
had some jambalaya.
I was going to say, Dale, you said you only had one bowl.
Right? Yeah, wait, I had one bowl 4 times. But listen, anybody can eat 4 bowls of my brother's jambalaya and quiver and not let the liver quiver. I mean, he's my hero. Next to Muhammad Ali, he's got to be the greatest man out of Louisville, right? I mean, could eat that 4 bowls in a row and not even have heartburn.
I think we have a shot of the jambalaya. I took a shot of the jambalaya and the pot. Is this a family recipe?
Nah, it's a family recipe. A family recipe in Louisiana is alcohol.
You know, how many times have I been lost for words sitting at this desk? I don't think I'll have to say anything. We talked about you not being able to get anything in. I might just sit here and be quiet.
Oh, look, you got pictures of the jambalaya.
Hey, now who was it for?
That's already 200 people ate that.
But when Tammy asked, I told her it was only one bowl.
Yeah, it was one bowl.
I just refilled it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But a couple of years ago, you were out here right behind us. It was very convenient for the gumbo, right out here behind us.
Oh, yeah.
Now we had to get in the cart and go down the lane a little bit. I had a friend of mine say if he has etouffee at some point, she wants to be alerted. Is that going to be on the menu?
Actually, you know what? That's Dale's favorite is etouffee. Right. And there's a little hole-in-the-wall place in Brobridge, actually, in Cecilia, called Poche's, and he told me that Dale told me, he said I'd go to Don's, get the boudin, then go straight to Poche's and get the etouffee. It is good.
I ate lunch twice in 15 minutes in Lafayette one day. I can't go past Don's Specialty Meats, and then 15 miles down the road was Poche's. I had to pull over and eat
But
again.
speaking of that, I noticed there's no food for us trainer. I don't see the sign like that. This is what it. Don't feed the trainers on this set. What's going on? I mean, we should have some food.
We'll come up with something.
None of that Jacob and Anthony thing. That was Mark's thing, right? Where he gives the appetizer.
You do understand why Eric is so important to me right now in my career, that he stays good and healthy and in the game. If anything ever happens to him, I'll be the craziest trainer on the backside.
Yeah, very good, very good. And you know, we talked the other day when we were over there, and I said, you know, I just would have to introduce you guys, and then I would leave the set. But I called up the FCC in the meantime, and they said, no.
You don't have a delay button. They said no delay button. But we're gonna have our own show one of these days. We want to make that announcement. It'll be the Hillbilly and Cajun show.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I have to stay because I'm like the maestro, you know, with the symphony. They don't play right, but if the maestro's up there, it's a beautiful symphony. So I'm here to make a beautiful symphony.
Well, that's good. You're doing well.
I'm trying anyway.
We'll keep you.
Want to talk a little bit about, you've got one of the horses of the meet, actually. Social media was all over Southern Phantom, and I think we have a shot. And our friend Tim Wilkin, I pulled it from his Twitter feed, in fact.
That's your friend.
Southern Phantom, who has the crazy, like freaky kind of white face. Born that way, I guess. He's got his own Facebook page also.
Yeah, look like he's been smoking weed. Look at him. I got his eye all shut right there on that thing. What's going on with that? He got his eye all closed up. Yeah, he's pretty popular. Probably more popular than HIV in the late 80s.
Yeah. You get visitors come over and kind of want to see the horse?
Oh, yeah, all the time. There's people. Daily. There's really. I started charging $5 for the selfies, but, you know, kind of felt bad for the fans. So there's so many of them. Might be the most money he makes.
Where's he running next?
Well, you did, Dale. See, you don't want me to talk about the other thing, but don't poke the dog's cage.
I just wonder where he's running.
In the hopeful.
We got
a maiden.
We have his last race. He ran third in here. This is back on August 11th.
Right.
He's going to be the 1A. Southern Phantom runs third. This was the second start of the meet. The first start ran fifth, but this was an improved performance. I think you're thinking he's sitting on a nice race.
My partner, he's like Babe Ruth. When he points to the fence with his baseball bat, he's not looking for a double. You know, so we're going to try him in the hopeful. Hopefully, he can run third. Got the whole family. So we'll see. You know, does he belong there? Probably not. But why not take a chance?
All right.
I would like to say be my first graded with a maiden. Like to say be my second graded with a maiden. Like to say be my third graded, but actually be my fourth. So might as well take a shot.
And of course, remember just 3 or 4 years back, won the Whitney with Marino, the Jim Dandy with Leia Band. So certainly a nice stakes record up here at Saratoga.
Yeah, 2 inches. Right? The Travers beat was crazy. Huh?
Lead Man was amazing, right?
Yeah, he was amazing.
We weren't going to bring up that, Travers. Just relax on that.
Well, then as long as we don't get to talk about Keen Ice.
Let's switch and talk a little Travers this year with King Zachary. Happy with the post position?
Yeah, 7's a great spot. I mean, a mile and a quarter. As long as you're not on the inside or outside, I'm happy. I just like horses on both sides of me when they leave there.
I should ask you.
Agree.
How's your horse doing?
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah, we just talked about that the other day. I love when everybody asks. He's not doing that good.
No, I'm not even $1 million grade one, some midsummer derby, and he's not doing very well.
Yeah.
That's Andy Sterling. Come on now, you're better than that.
We're going to take a look at King Zachary winning the Matt win. This was a couple of starts back. King Zachary's going to be the number 4 horse here. Wins by chart margin, just under 5 lengths. Subsequently came back in the Indiana Derby and ran 4th. What was the story in the Indiana Derby?
You know, I shipped 2 times he's been off form, if you look at his chart, that he ran subpar races, and both times I shipped him in late. I don't know what it has to do with it, but he also bled in the Indiana Derby, and that won't happen this time. He's going to run a big effort. He's laying 3rd right here.
Yeah, he's the 4 here. This is the Matt win down at Churchill. As I say, 2 races back.
And Bob, somebody had the 1-2 shot in there.
It's a 2-turn race or 1-turn race?
2-turn race.
We're
on the lead with the 6th.
Who's riding him?
Robbie Alvarado, Cajun. You can't recognize your people?
Well, I'm going to say like Jacob used to say, maybe you next time tell him to get down a little bit lower. You know what I mean? He's blocking the wind like you told about Corey.
We're on the lead, too, so we end up running 1-2 in here. That's Tiz Mischief on the lead.
Shit, he made a big move right here, huh?
Yeah, he did. And then he just took off.
Yeah, nice performance there. And again, you're happy with the post position. And obviously, nice bullet workout on the 19th. So he is coming
He's come up here and done well. We brought him up right after the Indiana Derby because, didn't want to have to ship on top of a race again. So we've been up here for a month, and he's trained well. Tammy's worked him every work, and he's just gotten better and better. He's a classic. He's just waiting for his breakthrough race, and maybe the Travers will be it. That's a good field, though. Good bunch of horses, top to bottom. You got the filly coming in there. I think that's big a market.
You got Black Magic. Good Magic. But it'd be Black Magic by Saturday.
good Magic. And Mark, I like that move with Mark Cassidy bringing the filly in the race. The race, sticking outside the box. I mean, not many people do that anymore. You're so scrutinized with every single move you make, and she can really run. Yeah, she might expose the whole 3-year-old crop if she wins.
I agree. She's got a shot.
You say it's a good field. It was a good field a few years ago when American Pharoah was in, too.
Yeah, it was a good field. Good day that day. Yeah. That day when Keen Ice beat American Pharoah, we watched it back in. It was a funny thing because I was supposed to be here by myself. And the 2 kids were in different parts of the country. When one called and said, hey, it worked out where I can come in. And another one called, and then Tammy showed up, and we all ended up being there watching in the racing office, and that horse hit the wire.
So the Clamperts were in town, basically. What they're saying. The Clamperts
basically, we went to a cement pond and came to the races, and I picked Tammy up in the racing office and had her under my arm like a football and ran all the way to the winner's circle before I realized I was about to have a heart attack. I had to put her down.
Yeah. Hey, so a nice Grade 1 win up here, and of course, as I say, Marino with the Grade 1 win at Saratoga. It's always nice to win a Grade 1 at Saratoga.
Yeah, it's nice to win at Saratoga, period.
And you came up here pretty early this year. Are you kind of Saratoga-based now in the
summertime? I plan on staying year-round. It depends how many times I have to wear long pants this winter. But I already got quite a few people trying to teach me about how being winterized. So I'm gonna try this winter, see how it works out. Go to Belmont back and forth. Stay here year-round in Saratoga. Go back and forth. And if it's too brutal, I'm gonna move back to California. I didn't like Florida. So.
I'm setting it over and under January 15th. I see you at Gulfstream
Park. Give us your. If you're now based up here, give us your feeling of Saratoga just in general, the community. Oh, what's your favorite restaurant?
Oh, my favorite, the Prime is my favorite, for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. I like that Sunday buffets they got, the new Sunday buffets they got. Give us me and he'll be a coupon for that.
We'll work on it.
Right. But, I like the Prime because it's very seldom you get a place that has quality food and quality service, and I think both the staff.
Yeah, and you sit outside there when the weather's good.
Yeah, when the weather's good out back, it's pretty
There's
nice.
so many good places here. We've made a vacation of it this year too. This town's been hopping. And we've been going downtown almost every night, sitting out there and watching people watching it.
What?
But there's good restaurants there where Salt and Char, 15 Church, R&R.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to open up a little bit there.
Actually, Probably my favorite is the hot dogs with the meat chili at Stewart's for lunch.
You can't beat Stewart's.
You can't beat Stewart's. That's the best thing going here.
Stewart's is reason enough to live here.
Yeah, it's like
the ice cream eating contest.
Ice cream,
today.
yeah, the hot dogs, everything.
Yeah, they're good.
Wanted to hit on another potential stakes runner over the weekend. We'll go back to the Amsterdam. Look at promises fulfilled. The number 2 horse in here. Game plan the Jerkins this weekend?
The Jerkins. We'll run 2 in there, him and 7 Trumpets. But yeah, he's a fast horse. I mean, I've never had a horse go 43 2 times in a row and just keep right on going.
Yeah, and here in the Amsterdam, again, he's the 2 horse and wins off by over 3 lengths as the second choice over Engage. So this was a pretty good performance, and it's always a bonus to have a race and a win over the track.
Look at Stride. He's more efficient than Santa Claus on Christmas Eve.
He's a good horse. He's a son of Shackelford, one of my all-time favorites. And,
who had that horse?
Somebody did a really good job with him. Whoever had him did a great job with him.
He used to wash out every day.
He run fast. But he's a fast horse, and he just keeps getting better and better. And he's came back and had a good work the other morning. He's trained well over the track. You know, it's a little bit of a quick turnaround, but I think he's the type horse can do it.
And 7 Trumpets for West Point.
7 Trumpets for West Point's doing unbelievable. It's the race at Belmont last time he was second. It just seems like the light switch went on. He's come up here and worked. He worked 58 and 2 the other morning over here like it was nothing. And Tammy didn't pull him up, so he went all the way around again.
Yeah, the horse he finished behind last time kind of freaked in that race.
Yeah, freezing fire. Well, he's back in there with us, and he'll be tough too. That's a good race. That's a heck of a card for Saturday.
Yeah, no, it's a big card.
The whole racing world will be watching Saturday.
I should ask you too, speaking of West Point, but also our friend Roddy Vellante and Rick Pitino, how Coach Rock's out of the Alabama.
She came out of it in good shape. She's had a good year, and we'll probably give her a little break and bring her back as an older mare next year. I think she's just primed to get better and better as she gets older.
Yeah, she certainly down in Florida early this year when we were down there.
She's one filly away from 3 grade 2, so. Which would be nice. Red Ruby beat up on her a couple of times, but I think she's as good as there is in the country.
Yeah, no, I agree. She had a nice season. So
why wasn't she in Alabama?
She cracked her splint bone. Yeah, she's out for a little while. She'll be back though.
I wanted to touch on one more horse and just get an update because I think you have a nice, promising 3-year-old in Mr. Freeze. We're going to pull up the West Virginia Derby from the 4th of this month. Mr. Freeze is going to be the number 8 horse. Wins off by 8 lengths. This was the 3rd win in 4 career starts. Had finished 2nd in the Iowa Derby just prior to that, an allowance and a maiden win to start the career off. But Mr. Freeze certainly looked pretty good a couple of weeks ago in the West Virginia Derby. What's up next for Mr. Freeze?
He'll go Pennsylvania Derby in late September, but. Yeah, this horse has gotten better and better as he's gotten older. He could be easily 4 for 4. He got a little confused in Iowa, I think, and didn't figure out to get started running on the 8th pole and re-broke and came back for a good second. And he was hooked every jump by some good horses. I mean, the horse that hooked him all the way around, it was a horse coming off the win in the Iowa Derby, and he ran fast and. I came close to bringing him up to the Travers, but it was just
he looked good there.
He looked good there, but it's such a tight window for the turnaround, and you got $1 million grade 1 now sitting at 4 weeks. It'll be 5 weeks between races, and he'll be primed and ready.
He's training down at Churchill.
He is. He's come back. He's had 1 breeze since the race, and it was a good, easy half mile. He's the type of horse to let you do whatever you want with him. He'll go as fast as you want in the morning or as slow as you want. And he's just gotten really, really good.
And I also want to mention, because when we talked to you last year, you had the same situation with Ellis. You had some nice 2-year-olds that started and won down at Ellis. And I saw the other day a horse called Everfast, first-time starter for Calumet, won down there. So you've been using Ellis for some
Ellis is, but the problem is everybody else started doing it too. It might be as tough down there as it is up here to win a maiden 2-year-old race. Now we've run a couple of good ones over there. Everlast is the one. He ran a big race. Came from out of it and came close and ran down a good Asmussen 2-year-old. He's lighting it up over there with the babies. And whenever you can run him down with a baby, you probably got a pretty good one. He'll go back into Iroquois.
Very good. And hopeful for
the maiden.
Southern Fiesta.
Yeah, not anything else.
Never count out occasion.
Right, that's right.
All right.
Talk a little bit about that. Your start down in Louisiana. How did you get into the training game?
Well, my great uncle Poufette Del Cambre, my sister went to the state library a few years back, and she pulls off owned the racetrack in 1894 in my hometown, Iberia, on the corner of Lewis and Main Street. And I got a picture on my phone, and it's from the state library, and it's a tower just like the Whitney Tower. The grandstand is just one tower thing. So in Louisiana, it's in our blood. I mean, Tammy can vouch for that. You think about it. I mean, it's a little state of 3 million people. We used to have 5 recognized tracks. Still got 4 when Jefferson shut down. back when I grew up as a teenager, I had horses all my life since I'm 2 years old. I've done anything from reining, cutting, horse shows, you know, trail ride. We used to take the same horse. There was 6 match race places in a 30-mile radius of where I was from. And we'd take the same horse and we'd horse show him Friday night, trail ride him all day Saturday, freshen him up, hop him, put some jugs in him, and give him and match race him on 10 o'clock Sunday morning. So I'm like that farmer's insurance. I know a thing or two because I've seen a thing or two. So when I moved to California, I was 20 years old. Of course, the first few years, 3 or 4 years, it was just like straight from Louisiana. I just was enjoying the scenery, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I had fun. So I started missing my horse dream. When I took the test and started at St. Louis Ray and over there to get my trainer license, I didn't work for one of the big guys. I was like, there's only 3 trainers under the age of 30, me, Ron Ellis, and Bob Hetz Jr. And they actually made me run at the fairs before I could sign a horse at Hollywood's Del Mar at Santa Anita, follow the fair circuit, which was a trip in its own right. So it kind of, I've been in California. I was in California 30-something years, you know, for a long time before I moved in. We came to Saratoga by accident when we just Del Mar put in the poly track in Santa Anita. It was so horrible and breaking. I had the 2 good fillies that same crop out of a dozen horses. I had Champagne d'Oro and Mi Sueño, the filly that won the Del Mar Debutante. So it wasn't safe to train on, so we wanted to come here, and we fell in love with it. Then we started shipping across the country just for the summertime, and it got so expensive and a pain in the butt to be 5 days on the road that we decided to come back east. So that's kind of how we got here.
And now here.
And we just love it here because, and I just want to make this home, you know.
Well, we'll be looking for you in the off-season at Stewart's.
It'll be a little more colorful around here.
Yeah, exactly.
For some reason, Cajuns and hillbillies get along well.
As I say, when we were down at the Jambalaya Cookout and watching you two, we thought, hey, let's get them in here for a segment. Certainly appreciate it this morning. Good luck in the Hopeful, good luck in the Travers, and the Jerkins and the rest of the meet as well.
A meal ticket.
I told him that was the other show, wasn't it?
It is the other show.
Let's bring Mark back. Hey, let's change the sign for bringing Rick back. Let's bring Mark back.
I'm getting thrown off my own show. Dale Romans, Eric Gio, appreciate the visit.
All right, guys.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Stuart DeVoe from the Diamond Club Grill and the Embassy Suites. They have a pre-Travers event coming up. We'll hit on that right after this. Stay tuned.
All right.
cheer on live racing from Woodbine and Mohawk Park. Thoroughbred and harness action. The wagers are just the beginning. Watch award-winning broadcasts covering both breeds, incredible battles contested over the most unique grass course in North America. Experience the full fields with over 130 thoroughbred and 160 live harness days. Get access to free handicapping material and join the ranks of Woodbine and Mohawk Park players from all over the globe. For more information, visit woodbine.com.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
The backstretch workers are the heart and soul of what we do.
They're the backbone of the industry.
People on the racetrack are very giving people.
It's a very impressive community of people helping one another. We see it all the time.
Any help we need it. It's right there in their hands.
It makes so much easier in the family to have somebody like Nathan to help them.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe.
great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
As an owner, I love the Breeders' Cup Win Your In Series.
To win one of these challenge series is a way that we kind of map out our schedule throughout the year with our horses.
If you win one of the challenge races, you have a very good horse.
The King George, which is our Win Your In race, provides the top middle distance horse in Europe. We saw Highland Real run in both races.
We know when we show up at the Breeders' Cup, we've got the world to beat, not just everybody in the United States. Breeders' Cup Challenge, win, and you're in.
Welcome back to Racing Across America. As promised before the break, one of our sponsors, the Diamond Club Grill at the Embassy Suites. We have Stu DeVoe from the Diamond Club Grill. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Wanted to have you on because, again, you're one of the sponsors. We appreciate that, certainly, but you have a nice event coming up that we wanted to alert the folks to, a Travers pre-game party. Before we get to the party itself, though, just remind people about the Diamond Club Grill, because I think we have been doing the past few years the Kentucky Derby seminar there. Great crowd coming down for that early in May, and it's just, you're conveniently located downtown. You have a nice outdoor area. It's a great venue for kind of post-race activity.
We have nicknamed internally the Diamond Club Grill at Embassy Suites Saratoga's secret spot.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about us yet. Nobody knows. There's plenty of parking. There's plenty of drinks, food, great wine list, great spirits list. It's in that hotel. Actually, in 2017, we were ranked number 3 in the world of all Embassy Suites. This year so far, through July, we were ranked number 1.
Oh, nice.
So that's going on our quality assurance from Hilton Corporate, and that also comes from feedback from our guests. So we're definitely not a typical hotel. We're definitely not a typical hotel restaurant. And people think a hotel restaurant, well, I don't want to go there, it's busy, it's Saratoga. But in actuality, the guests that are staying there, they want to go see downtown. So we say, locals, come on in. If you're staying in another hotel, come on in.
Yeah, it's, as I say, very conveniently located. If you're on Broadway, there's Congress Park. You take the turn at Congress Park, you go up about a block, and there it is, Diamond Club Grill at the Embassy Suites. And as I say, being there in May for the Kentucky Derby seminar, nice crowd there, and out on the patio as well, and just kind of stopping over myself at various times. Been over a couple of times for seminars this month. We did a couple of seminars over there in one of the conference rooms on a couple of Tuesday nights, and nice crowd there, and I kind of walked around a little bit and enjoyed some of the beverages myself. And let's talk a little bit about what's coming up.
Right? Not too many.
Yeah, well, no, not
one or two.
Never too many.
Keeps you loose.
Yeah, never too many. But let's talk a little bit about what you have coming up tomorrow night, the Travers pregame party.
So Seth, what we've tried to do here in Saratoga, since we are a horse racing town, we've looked to draw the horse racing crowd into our bar. We have something called the Travers pregame party. There's something, the Bullet Bourbon Woody. So Bullet Bourbon took a camper, made a bar out of it. It's going to be in the parking lot. They're going to do some samples. We're going to buy some drinks for people. Come and check it out. There's also going to be Grey Goose specials, Kettle One specials. We'll have live music from Jay Yeager. He's bringing a trio. We're also going to give away 2 clubhouse seats for Travers Day. Just raffle, free tickets. First row in clubhouse section B. They're great seats. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited about it.
Jay Yeager from the
Audio Stars.
Right. So he has a little trio to pop over with. People will certainly be familiar with him. Some inside information from Racing with Bruno. He was at the seminar I did last week there on the Tuesday night. Bruno DiGiulio, so some good workout information there, I'm sure.
A lot of people might know about Bruno. He puts out a sheet, racingwithbruno.com, and great clocker information. He's there every morning. Binoculars, stopwatch, it's kind of neat to see, watch all that chaos. I went over a couple mornings to see it, so he's going to have a sheet for Travers information on that day.
So again, it is tomorrow night, the Travers pregame party, 5:30 to 10 at the Diamond Club Grill at the Embassy Suites. Again, just a block off Broadway, very conveniently located. The 2 clubhouse seats will be The drawing will come up at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So great way to spend a Thursday evening over at the Diamond Club Grill at the Embassy Suites. And Stu, I know you're a racing fan. What do you think of the meet so far?
The meet's been challenging.
It has been
It's been real challenging. I think not only do you have to handicap handicap the horses. Everybody's pointing to the meet, as we know, but the weather as well. You know, sometimes it looks like it's muddy in the morning and then fast by the time the feature comes. So a lot of things to look at.
Yeah, and that's been it's almost been tropical, where you'll have a nice sunny day in the middle of the afternoon, and boom, a shower comes through, and then sunny again, and it's hard to adjust that quickly. You have to adjust that quickly, but sometimes that's hard to do.
Yeah, well, you know what? I guess that's why we like the game. It's part of the puzzle, and we go for it. So I'm still going to fire away.
We were talking before you came on, and you said you might have a thought in the West Point coming up on Friday.
I've been watching a horse called Morrison that's running some of the New York Stakes. He ran in an open allowance down in at Belmont and got beat by a good horse by the name of Raging Bull from Chad Brown, and I thought he gave him everything he could handle. He came up here and he did something that he didn't do before, which was sit off another speed horse. He tends to be forwardly placed, so it looks like he's progressing. This whole New York turf bunch can be a salty bunch. He's stepping up into it, and I think you're going to find some odds. So,
all right, sounds good.
Take a shot. Why not?
Morrison on Friday. Thursday night, though, again, the Travers pregame party at the Diamond Club Grill at the Embassy Suites. Stu, appreciate the visit.
Always appreciate it. Thank you.
Stuart DeVoe from the Diamond Club Grill right downtown. Recommended you swing by tomorrow night and enjoy some Thursday activities at the Diamond Club Grill. All right, we'll wrap things up for this edition of Racing Across America. Fun Wednesday edition, kicking off Travers Week. A little breezy now. As I say, there was some showers, some sprinkles earlier in the day. That will affect racing a little bit this afternoon, but the forecast was for a great day with some sun coming out as we move on later in the day. So it should be a nice day from here on out. If you're headed up to the track, keep those plans intact. As far as this programming, tomorrow we'll be back on at 9 o'clock with the Handicapper's Report, 10 o'clock with yet another edition of Racing Across America. So enjoy the action this afternoon. Cash a few tickets. See you back here tomorrow morning.
You've been watching Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America has been brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. Thoroughfan, giving the fan a voice. Find them at thoroughfan.com. Woodbine Racetrack. Pick, bet, and cheer on world-class horse racing north of the border. And the new Capital OTB mobile app. Wager anytime, anywhere. Download it free from the iTunes Store or Google Play.